Hello and welcome to Unity Comox Valley, a positive path for spiritual living. Unity is a place where you can find practical tools to navigate the ups and downs of life. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of what is contributing to the goodness in the world. Thank you for letting your light shine. Thank you for being willing to grow and expand your understanding and your wisdom about what it means to be a spiritual being and a physical being at the same time. Would you please join me in our vision statement? Unity Comox Valley is a loving, caring community coming together for spiritual growth and renewal. We actively and consciously serve others by radiating God's love and joy in our daily lives. So thank you for radiating that love and joy, and thank you for consciously serving one another, not just the people we know, but in our community and in the world. And we all do that in many, many different ways. Would you please join me now for an opening prayer? We'll just take a moment to settle ourselves into this moment, into this place, into this time. And perhaps closing your eyes or taking a deep breath helps you to do that. It's a wonderful way to bring us to this present moment, this moment where we are still, where we are centered, where it's easier to feel the presence. We know that everywhere around us in the world, there are many, many things happening. People are being impacted by events all the time, including our loved ones. And we also know that as we stay in this centered place and express ourselves from our wholeness, that we are adding to the goodness in the world and not subtracting from it, not distracting from it. And so we look at this as a holy calling to be the best that we can be, to hold fast to our faith and our principles, to be an expression of all that the divine is. And so for the opportunities that present themselves to us, we say thank you. For the challenges that present themselves to us, we say thank you. We know that we each have much to add, to contribute for the benefit of all. And so truly we do give thanks for these opportunities. And in this state of gratitude, we say thank you, and amen. Today we start a 5-week series based on the book by Unity minister Wendy Craig Purcell. The book is called Ask Yourself This. Pat Clarkson and I created this series, and so we will be sharing the talks alternating each Sunday. And also in the spirit of opening up to opportunities to extend our circle, this series will also be seen at Unity Victoria at the same time. So we are sharing speakers and sharing the series and opening our doors to Unity Victoria as they are to us. To strengthen this message, we also have an opportunity to talk and share about this series every Friday at 10:30. This Friday, we will be exploring more deeply the topic from today's talk, How Wide is My Circle? The link is in the newsletter. Please join me now in the song, Draw the Circle Wide.
Circle wide. the dreams we dream be larger than we've ever dreamed before. Let the dream of Christ be in us, open every door. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song, no one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide.
This is the book that we're working with over the next 5 weeks. Ask yourself this. And the subtitle is Questions to Open the Heart, Expand the Mind, and Awaken the Soul by Wendy Craig Purcell. Questions. The power of questions. Questions open doors, don't they? Questions create room for exploration and conversation. Questions can shake us up, maybe even offend us. But is that a bad thing? I don't think so. I'm sure we have all been around a 2 or a 3-year-old where every other word is why. We're going to the grocery store. Why? To get food. Why? So that we have something to eat. Why? Right there, in 30 seconds, we've gone from a simple question to opening up the doors to one of the greatest mysteries in the world is life. Why do our bodies need food? How do our bodies process food? What is this about life that is necessary for us? The power of a question. The author James Thurber said, "It's better to know some of the questions than all of the answers." And I agree. So for the next 5 weeks, we are going to be exploring some expansive questions. Each chapter in the book has about 8 to 10 questions in it. So Pat and I will be just pulling out a few each week to share with you and to bring to you for your consideration and your thought. From the introduction of the book, Wendy says this: questions are like channels through which our mental, emotional, and creativity energy flows. Thus, the questions we ask greatly influence the quality of our lives. She suggests a few things as we embark on this journey of self-discovery. Be willing to sit with the questions. Allow them to simmer slowly. She asks that we resist the temptation to answer them too quickly or assume there is only one right answer. And she asks that we revisit the questions from time to time, that they are to be lived, not to be only answered once. So the first question I bring to you is, how wide is my circle? How open am I? This question helps us get in touch with who and what is in our circle and to think about who and what is not. Growing spiritually calls us to be genuinely open to more people, more experiences, more possibilities. You have already experienced this in hundreds of ways since you were a child, widening your circle by trying something new, riding a bicycle, learning how to swim, learning how to drive, becoming a parent. All of these experiences were once new to us. What about people? Do you know now only the people you knew from your past? No, of course not. We have all met new people. But the question asks, are we still widening our circle? Are we willing to bring in something new? Are we open to new people? Or has our circle stayed the same for a while? In the fall of 2019, I signed up to join a singing group here in the Valley. It seemed to be aligned with my values. So all voices were welcome, and there were no additions. All ages were included. When I saw the choir perform, there was teenagers and 80-year-olds. You didn't have to stick to one part. In fact, the director actually encouraged us to jump from part to part and explore and experience our voice. When we gathered together, we were always standing, because each time we came to a new song, everyone would change their spots and move over and say, hey, I'm going to try this part this week. Or, help me learn this part. It's a wonderful experience. But as I was walking to the location for the first time, I realized that I was walking into a room where I would not know a single person. And you know what? This is a rare experience for me. I have lots of meetings and activities that I've attended in the Valley over the last 12 years in different capacities, and always I knew at least one or two people who were there. This gave me the experience many of you had when the first time you came through the doors of Unity, and clearly why invitation is the best way to have someone new come in. It's the easiest road for people to try out something new, so that when they come to a place, they already know at least one person. So in this case, I was open. I didn't know who I would find there. I didn't know what the people would be like. I wouldn't know how if I would be included or excluded or be welcomed. But I was willing to put all that aside to widen my circle. But how far will we go? Where do we draw the line? Where do we close that door? What about people? Who do you want to know? Who do you stay away from? Who is in your circle? Who have you excluded? It is easy to be comfortable within our own familiar circle. What if we had kept our circle closed when we were 10 years old? We would be lucky to have a single friend now. We call ourselves loving, but how far does that circle of love extend? Perhaps we have become complacent and only want to be around people who like us, who hold the same beliefs and opinions as we do, people who don't challenge us. Think of someone you really dislike. Could be their actions, could be their words, whatever it is. Just think of someone. Perhaps someone who has different political beliefs than you do. Perhaps a different religion, perhaps a different cultural background, different lifestyle choice. And as you bring these people to mind, you have just found the border of your circle. I'm okay with these people, but not with those. That's the extent of our circle. And they are on the other side, beyond our attention, beyond our acceptance. So ask yourself, is my circle widening? It can. You can do it. When we rise above judgment and prejudice, we create room for more. Here's a story that illustrates this perfectly. During World War I, a Protestant chaplain was assigned to a position in Italy, and he became close friends with a village priest. After the chaplain and his troops were reassigned, the chaplain was killed. And the priest asked if his body could be brought back to be buried in the parish cemetery, since he knew the chaplain had no family. The Catholic Church denied his request because he was not Catholic. So the priest buried his friend just outside the cemetery's fence. A few years later, one of the chaplain's troop members returned and wanted to pay his respects at the gravesite. And this is what happened. The priest led the man to the place where the chaplain had been buried, and the man was astonished to see that the chaplain's grave lay within the cemetery's fence. Amazed and elated, he said, "I don't believe it. I see you finally got permission to bury the chaplain in the cemetery." "Well, no, not exactly," the priest smiled. "They told me where I couldn't bury the body, but they never said I couldn't move the fence. We all have places where we need to move our fences. Look at the places where you have blocked people out. Perhaps we could follow Abraham Lincoln's example when he said, I don't like that man, I must get to know him better. Moving the fence does not mean you need to agree with that person or hang out with that person. It means that you are willing to see their value. It means that you hold the best for them, that you pray for them, that you stop seeing the differences and let go of the judgment. If you want to evolve and grow, I invite you to notice when your heart is cold towards someone and see if you can soften your stand and hold them in love. Here's a second question for today. Is faith or fear guiding my decisions? Well, while fear certainly stimulates actions, it does not encourage conscious action, but rather impulsive or thoughtless decisions. Acting from faith calls us to a higher state of consciousness where we can align ourselves with an inner power. We build faith like a muscle. We start with a little experience and then we go from there. The more we use it, the more it grows and the stronger it becomes. A little faith at the beginning can be strengthened along the way and lead to big results. In 1847, the first suspension bridge to cross the Niagara River was being commissioned. This was to connect the US and Canada. But where to begin? How to start spanning this 825 feet gap between the two countries? Normally, when you're building this kind of bridge, a boat would go across the river carrying a large cable. But the river was way too fast for this to happen, and it was dangerously close to Niagara Falls. So someone came up with the idea, after a lot of time actually, someone finally came up with the idea of flying a kite from one side to the other to bring a string across the river. And so a big contest was held with a $5 reward in 1847, which is probably a lot of money. And many people tried and failed. And finally, a 10-year-old boy was successful. Leave it to a boy to know how to, or a child to know how to fly a kite, right? After the kite got to the other side, they tied the string to a tree. And they used it to pull a small cord. We're talking about 825 feet, a small cord across the river. And then they used that cord to pull over a larger cord, and then a small metal cable, and then a larger metal cable, until they had what was the beginning of the first railway suspension bridge in the world. Small steps lead to bigger steps and stronger steps, and eventually to success. So back to the first question. How wide is your circle? If we start with fear, our circle will remain very small. We will not thrive. We will stagnate. We will miss out on all the opportunities to learn more about ourselves and about others. So let's go into this week and notice where we are closed off and see if we can move our fence just a little bit out. Please join me now for a time of prayer and contemplation. Let's take time now for contemplation and affirmative prayer. As we enter the silence, we remember that the silence is a holy place, a place of stillness and peace. It is not far away. It is right where you are now. It is right where you are whenever you shut the doors of your senses. When you enter, the world outside and its troubles melt away. When you leave, your body and mind are stilled, refreshed, and restored. As you quiet yourself, feel the presence of God freeing you from tension. Let your whole body, every nerve, every muscle, every cell, relax and let go. Whenever you feel any tension, relax. If you feel tense across your forehead, say, relax and let go. If your eyes feel strained, say, relax and let go. If you are tense in any part of your body, say, relax and let go, until from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, you are perfectly relaxed. Be still. Say this silently until the words take on new meaning, a living meaning, and you feel the stillness with your whole mind, your whole being. In the stillness, when your thoughts and feelings are quieted and the doors of your senses are shut, feel your unity with the divine. As we go into the silence now, I invite you to take on these affirmative thoughts to help you experience the presence of the divine as fully as you can. I am the light of the world. Be still until you actually sense the light of spirit flowing through you and over you. Be still until you feel yourself immersed in a sea of light, until you feel your whole being illumined and uplifted. I have divine intelligence. The mind of God is a reservoir of good ideas that are yours to draw upon, yours to use. You are alive, awake, alert, joyous, and enthusiastic. You have divine intelligence. I see with the eyes of spirit. Let your eyes be the watchful servants of your mind, which sees only the perfection of spirit. Let all sense of tension or fatigue be washed away from your eyes by the flow of divine energy. They are strong, clear-seeing eyes. Your spiritual vision, too, is renewed. You see the truth more clearly. You see with the eyes of spirit. I am free and unlimited. You are free with the freedom of spirit. Negative conditions have no power over you. You You are poised, free, and unlimited. I am strong in God and in the power of God. Feel the strength of Spirit pouring through you, strengthening every part of your body temple. You are no longer bowed by burdens, your own, your family's, or the world's. You are free, poised, light-hearted, and you face life confidently. And lastly, I am the perfect expression of God's love. Love transforms. Let love fill your heart with harmony. Let love fill your mind with kind, helpful thoughts. Let love fill your lips with words of praise and cheer. Let love fill your life to overflowing with happiness and peace. Love transforms. Whatever the need or problem, divine love is the answer, and you are the perfect expression of divine love. And now from this place of stillness in the silence, we have renewed ourselves with statements of truth, revitalizing us mind, body, and spirit. We go out into our world refreshed, renewed, able to meet anything that comes our way with strength, faith, equanimity. We know this is true, and so it is. Amen.
Make me some room close by your side. Love is drawn to love. Here in this place, hearts open wide. Love is drawn to love. We'll find our song, sing it together. Love is drawn to love. With harmony, everything's better. Love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love, love, oh, love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love, love, oh, love is drawn to love. Stand up for truth, lift up your voices. Love is drawn to love. Follow your heart, you'll see the choices. Love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love, love, oh, love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love.
have a thought for today that I would like to share, and it comes from the website dailyohm.org. The expression going with the flow is a metaphor that applies to navigating a river. When we go with the flow, we follow the current of the river rather than push against it. People who go with the flow may be interpreted as lazy or passive. Going with the flow does not mean we toss our oars into the water and kick back in the boat, hoping for the best. Going with the flow means we let go of our individual agenda and notice the play of energy all around us. We tap into that energy and we flow with it. Going with the flow doesn't mean that we don't know where we're going. It means that we are open to multiple ways of getting there. We are also open to changing our destination, clinging more to the essence of our goal than to the particulars. Going with the flow means that we are aware that there is an energy larger than our small selves, and we are open to working with it, not against it. Trust that the big river of your life has a plan for you, and let it carry you forward. Throw overboard those things that are weighing you down. We talked about this last week. Take a deep breath and move into the current. So please, if you come across an inspirational reading like this, or a poem, or something to share, please send it to info@unitycomoxvalley.com. Well, what's coming up this week? 2 opportunities to connect. We have fellowship time every Sunday at 11:30. Last week we had a wonderful discussion. Many people joined us, so it's your opportunity to come on and see your friends' faces and hear their voices. The link is in the newsletter. On Fridays, as I mentioned earlier, come and join us at 10:30 in the morning. Everyone is welcome, and we'll be following up on the talk for today. The link is in the newsletter. And speaking of Zoom links, I am still learning lots about Zoom, so thank you for your patience with me. So I've just discovered that there can just be one Zoom link for all of Unity Comox Valley events. So once you've got that link, it'll be in the newsletter. That is the link that you can use for the fellowship time on Sundays, for the TLC on Fridays, and any other activities that we have coming up. So thanks again for your patience. Unity Comox Valley is a self-supporting is financially self-supporting, and we give thanks for your gifts. We know that we want to bring this unity message out and allow it to empower people and support people on their spiritual journeys. There are many people looking for a spiritual path that is not religious, that is not dogmatic, that is more expansive and welcoming the way unity is. So thank you for your gifts that allow this to happen. With gratitude in your hearts and minds, would you please join me in our affirmation? Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Before we sing our closing song, I would like to share with you something that Elaine sent to us. And these are her words. I do not believe this is by accident that most of us felt something very inspiring and hopeful for this year. I truly have the heart sense that we are all going to come out of this somehow better as a human race. In our quality of living time, in our quality of living, and by taking time to reflect on what we value as individuals, a better connected world, and a better and healthier planet. I have heard it said several times that the important things in life often have to get worse before they get better. Life has to shift to make room for the new. It may be experienced as chaos or confusion, which can present as fear, but my optimistic attitude always believes and holds true to the idea that something greater is happening. This is the stuff that miracles are made of, the unexpected good or the very good being transformed into exceptional good. Thank you, Elaine. And now we're going to hear a new song, a beautiful song that I recently discovered by Daniel Namad, and it's called Living Love. See you next week.
If I can heal one heart, if I can dry one tear, if I can hold one hand, make just one doubt disappear, if I can change one life, that's what I came to do. 'Cause I know that I am living love. Yes, I am living love. If I can heal one heart, if I can dry one tear, if I can hold one hand, make just one doubt disappear, if I can change one life, that's what I came to do. 'Cause I know that I am living love. Yes, I am living love. If I can heal one heart, if I can dry one tear, if I can hold one hand, make just one doubt disappear, if I can change one life, that's what I came to do. 'Cause I know that I am living love. Yes, I am living love. Try as I might to find some earthly treasure to achieve, something to put my troubled mind at ease. Can't let it be. Every time I find salvation in the love in me, the more I give the world, the more that I receive. If I can heal one heart, if I can dry one tear, if I can hold one hand, make just one doubt disappear,